7 days, 7 different FTP tests. FTP, or Functional Threshold Power. This is the average number of watts a rider can sustain for an hour. It is the most common training metric and is frequently used by coaches as a benchmark metric. It is also the number which determines your training zones when using power. One thing to remember is that the latest training apps all use your FTP as a way of setting your workouts and training plans when using a smart trainer. In simple terms, your FTP is the rite of passage for most cyclists. It puts a number on your fitness. It's the one number we all want to increase, no matter who we are. But how do we test it? Is it better to do it outside, inside, on the flat, on a climb? Well, to find out, I'm going to cover it all in just 7 days. Just so you know, guys, I hate fitness tests. Good morning. It's day 1. Good morning. So my first test, 7 a.m. I was told. Early start the better. So here I am, up on the bike and putting in a shift. My first FTP test. This one is on Zwift. It's 1 hour long. And the nice thing about this one is that it tells me what to do. I'm slightly worried because I haven't done an FTP test in, we're talking years. So slightly worried about the outcome of this. But first, I've got a 20-minute warm-up, which is kind of what I need. So there we have it. That's my warm-up done. I know I've got some 20-second sprints leading up to my 5-minute effort and then my 20-minute effort. I feel like this is gonna hurt already. Here we go. 260 watts. Now 330 watts. Here we go, 400 watts. Oh, this is a bit of a baptism of fire. 330, 400, 260. Woo! I'm bouncing all over the shop. Oh, bloody hell. That's the 5-minute done. I've still got 20 minutes to go. Now for the big one. 20 minutes. As hard as I can go on Zwift. Come on then. FTP starts. Has started. Come on. Ouch. That's my first 20-minute test done. What a baptism of fire. It's now time for a warm down and a quick look at the results. 73 minutes with a 20-minute full gas effort. What were my results? Well, if I'm honest, they're all right. They're nothing to shout about, seeing as my former FTP was 380 watts and I was probably a lot lighter than I am now. Now, I've been out of racing for best part of 6 years. So my FTP now, well, what Zwift say, is 281 watts. I mean, it's all right. It's hard not to forget the FTP I did have, but then again, I haven't been riding full time for the last 6 years, so what can I expect? Anyway, how is this going to differ? How am I going to adapt? and what the FTP is like going to be as I get through this next 7 days. The first day is done, 6 more to go. Good night, Shed. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, it's day 2 and it can't start without a coffee. No day can start without a morning coffee. Oh. It's day 2 and it's time for my second test. Today's test is out on the road. And it's a 20-minute flat out on the flat. Welcome to a rather cold and dreary morning on the road. So I've set up my Wahoo. So I've got power, time, and heart rate. And that's all I'm looking at. For now though, time to warm the legs up, get the stiffness out from yesterday's effort, and then find a long flat road and go as hard as I possibly can. Windy as well, woo! But I can have it. Come on, FTP. So, let's go. Wish me luck, team. Oh, I need to pace it now. Feeling the burn already. 2 minutes in, sitting on about 320. Halfway in, my heart rate's blown up. To engage everything I know. 60 seconds, go on! 350 watts. Come on! I think I saw my life flash before my eyes then. Right, it's time to get the breath back. I think it's quite apt that I finished at the cemetery. There we have it. My second FTP is done. My second day has come to the end. What are the results of the second test? The results are as follows. So I averaged 300 watts. Now this, remember, was on a flat piece of road. It was pretty quick. 300 watts is what kind of I was expecting. I was hoping for a bit more. But the question you want to know is, what was the FTP after you multiply it by 0.95? And that is 285 watts, which is 5 watts better than my Zwift effort. So it looks like we're going on an upwards trajectory. I'm just have a feeling that I can't quite think if I'm gonna get fitter and my results gonna get better because I haven't been riding so much for the last couple of weeks, or if it's just gonna get worse because of fatigue. But I guess we'll find out shortly. Now it's time to start my day and yeah. Cue alarm clock, I guess. Cue alarm clock. So what do I have planned today? Well, 2 8-minute efforts. And I'm hoping this is going to be slightly easier than yesterday's full gas 20-minute effort. But here goes nothing. Welcome to another morning. Today the weather's not so great, bit overcast. But I've got a nice little warm-up planned, and I might just swing past a coffee shop to explain to you a little bit more about what this session is. Right, nice little warm-up planned. Let's wake the legs up and myself up. Now, before I start this next effort, I thought I'd grab a quick coffee and explain to you exactly what I'm going to be embarking on. Now, I'm going to be doing 2 8-minute efforts, full gas, 100% with 10 minutes recovery. Now, people say that this is a better way to test your FTP for the less experienced riders because you haven't got to pace a 20-minute effort, so you're going to get more accurate results. And it's also said to give you more numbers because you're working your VO2 as well. Now, I haven't actually done 8 minutes efforts for a long time, so I'm not sure exactly what I can do, but I'm hoping I'm going to perform slightly better because I'm better at shorter efforts than I am longer efforts because of the pacing strategy. All caffeined up now. Now, because I'm doing only 8 minutes, I've got to take 10% off the average across those 2 8 minutes. And then that will give me my FTP result. Get it? Right, let's get to it. Before I get going though, I want to show you some wildlife. I mean, I love cows. Sorry, Si. Can't get too overexcited. How'd I fire that one? Absolutely brutal. 10-minute recovery. Next 8 minutes. I'm just hoping I can try and hit the same wattage. I was aiming for about 360, 370, so we'll see what happens, but... Right, my heart rate's dropped all the way down to 135. 10 minutes is up. Just ready to start my next 8-minute session. In 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Two minutes in. Aiming 370. Yeah, I nearly died on that. It's been so long since I've done back-to-back training. So I'm really hoping that during the course of this week, I might get fitter and my power numbers might go up, but then I'm also trying to combat fatigue. So it's an interesting one. Anyway, I'm gonna stop rambling and I'm gonna get home and look at the results. Now, my first one, I felt like I did an all right warm up, but the wattage is as follows. So I averaged for the 8 minutes, 340 watts, which is much better than my 20-minute effort, but it is a lot shorter. And after like multiplying it by 0.90 to take off that 10%, I've got a FTP on that 8-minute effort of 306, okay? Now for the second effort, after I had a bit of a kind of 10-minute recovery, I did an actually bigger wattage. So I got an average of 350, which I only can explain because I probably after that 8-minute, it kind of opened me up a lot more and I got out yesterday's efforts. And that gives me 315, okay? So that basically means that I'm going in the right direction. Now, I can only think that this is because my body's getting used to riding a bike again properly. I guess in anger, because I've only been kind of enjoying riding my bike and I've done hard rides very sporadically. I haven't done anything back to back. And I guess training is all about consistency. I'm starting to feel better. I am getting more tired, but I'm kind of enjoying it, if I'm honest. It's kind of bringing me back to kind of the race days and getting really into my training. But nevertheless, I've got to get back to work. This is just the morning. The start of the day needs to progress. And I'll see you guys in the morning for Another FTP test. Oh my gosh. People put off FTP tests. I'm doing them day in, day out. Right. Day 4 starts tomorrow. And I'll see you guys bright and early. Good morning. The time is 6 a.m. and it's day 4. We're getting through it. How am I feeling? Pretty tired. So I've been tracking my HRV, so I've been tracking my sleep. Now, I got about 6 hours sleep last night. I'm feeling a bit fatigued. My legs are pretty sore and I'm at a 33% recovery, meaning, yeah, I'm not fresh as a daisy by any stretch of the imagination. This morning, though, I'm on Zwift. Now, I've got a ramp test planned. I'm starting with a free ride of 5 minutes, and then it starts at 105 watts, and it goes up. I think it goes up 20 watts every minute. Right, now for a nice warm-up. I'm just not feeling it this morning. Some days you're the hammer, and some days you're the nail, and I today am for sure the nail. Still early days. At the moment, just sitting on 205 watts. Out of all of them though, I think this test is probably my favourite because Zwift kind of does it all for you. And I'm just looking at 1 minute at a time, 1 minute intervals, or 1 minute increments. I've been going 11 minutes. I'm up to 245 watts. Sitting at 320. I got this, come on! 10 seconds, going to 350. Oh, it's a big bite. Last push. I can't push it. Come on. Oh, come on. I think I'm done. There we have it. Number 4 done. FTP is set at 290. Thanks to Zwift ramp test. It's horses for courses though, isn't it? So I'm not too far off. Like I started on 280, I think, when I started this journey. So I'm not tailing off. I'm sitting there or thereabouts, but I've still got 3 tests to go. Now it's time to get dressed and get to work. And I'll see you, yes, bright and early tomorrow for another test. And tomorrow, I think Manon is joining me. So that should help. Right, see you tomorrow. Time is 7 a.m. and for once it's a nice sunny day. Today's plan is to do an FTP test on a climb. The only trouble is I don't know where I'm going to find a 20-minute climb round where we live, but we're going to have to try and make do and see what happens.
Right, Hank, the time has come for you to go off and do your FTP test.
Oh no.
So you're going to be doing it on the iconic climb of Banner down here in Bath. Now it's not quite 20 minutes long because unfortunately we're not in Spain or France where we have nice long climbs, but the top of this climb does have quite a bit of false flat, so hopefully that's going to be enough. How are you feeling?
I'm not that excited about this one, but I'm hoping that the climb's going to help me sit at a good consistent power. So are you going to join me?
I would love to, but I've got some more filming to do, so I'm going to leave you, crack on with it, but I'll be waiting at the end to give you a pat on the back. So cheers, good luck.
Manon. Cheers, Manon. Right, let's go do our FTP test. Number 5 on a climb. Let's go. Here we go, FTP test on a climb. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Now the aim is to try and sit as high as possible. But in a 20-minute effort, especially on a climb, you want to pace it. And I know I've got sore and fatigued legs. So pacing is going to be even more imperative. Last push, come on. So there we have it. Brutal. Average power was 310. Which is there or thereabouts, I guess, but we'll have to go back home and then check out the data to find out what FTP I got out of that. But it's just getting harder and harder. I think the hardest thing is just motivating yourself to carry on doing a fitness test every single day. I would say though that on a climb, I do find it easier to put power out, and it is because I like standing out the saddle and putting weight on through the pedals. So that does help me get a bit more consistency and enable me to put a bit more power out compared to on the flat where I just feel like I've got no resistance. Anyways, that's me done. Time to get on with filming the day, and I'll see you back home. Made it back and had the chance to upload and analyze the data. So my average watts up the climb were 310 watts. So not huge, but I'm not too worried about it. But after multiplying it by that 0.95, I've come out with 295 or 294 watts of my FTP on the 20-minute effort up a climb. And now I'm shattered, genuinely knackered. So yeah, I'm just gonna go and collapse on the bed and then see you guys for another day and another FTP test. Oh, another day, another dollar. Right, lights out, all out. It's bright and early, and I am off to do some more filming with the team. But today I've also got my FTP test to do. Now the one I'm gonna do is 60 minutes out on the road. So that's 1 hour as hard as you can go. So that's the original. That's what FTP is all about. It's meant to be the number you can sustain for an entire hour. Anyway, you're gonna catch up with me on the bike as I start my hour. I don't know how I'm gonna get on in this one, but we'll find out shortly. Right, in 3, 2, 1, and we're off. Still going strong. 10 minutes in. Trying to pace it and not let the watts drop off. 10 minutes to go. I'm on the limit now. The penultimate day is done. The results I'm going to reveal tomorrow, and that is where I'm going to put all the results into a graph, and you guys will be able to see exactly what watts I did against what test. Did they decrease? Did they increase? We find out tomorrow. And now for a nice spin and an early night. Good night.
Last day, one more FTP. Let's go get on the bike.
For this final test, I'm back indoors and onto the indoor trainer. I need a long, uninterrupted climb. I've actually been looking forward to this, not only because it is the last one, but because it's supposed to be the easiest. A warm-up and then a 10 minutes at 90% of what you think your FTP currently is. then 10 minutes at 100% of your estimated FTP, and then finally, as long as you can manage for 110%. After, you then take the highest average 20-minute power. Now, in reality, this means that if you guess your FTP right, you will do 5 minutes at 110%. If you last longer than 5 minutes, your FTP is going up.
That's the idea. Last one though. Let's make it a good one. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Right, 10 minutes down.
I'm done. I'm done.
Oh, I pushed it hard.
Seven days, 7 FTPs is complete, and I'm still standing. Wow. It's been a long time since I've done consistent training day in, day out, and I've never done max efforts every single day for 7 days. Would I suggest you do it? Probably not. But now's a good time to have a look at the results. Now, as the graph shows, well, my wattage and my FTP started to climb when I started and embarked on this challenge. It was hard to start on Zwift just because I find riding the turbo hard and to sustain the power. But on day 4, it started to go downwards. But I was keeping good power. I just wasn't sustaining it. And that's only because of the fatigue in my legs, I think. And I was just getting more and more tired, but my fitness was increasing. I actually felt on the last day, probably the best. I was able to manage and maintain a good power of what I may have struggled on day 1. But it was really interesting, and what I would say is when it comes to FTP testing, out of all the 7 I've done, the best one is the one you enjoy the best. The best one is one that suits you. And it's all about consistency. So when you're testing your FTP, make sure you test it with the tame test to give you the right results. My favorite FTP test out of the entire 7 has to be the last one, size one. 90% of FTP into 100% into 110%, 10 minutes. And I just feel that enables me to kind of, I guess, pace it better. It enabled me to think through it. And yeah, I got all right results, given it was the last day. But would I do it again? Probably not. You're probably interested to see, though, if I'm going to increase my FTP after 3 weeks or a couple of weeks recovery. So if you want to see that, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll do a short so you can see what my FTP is after a couple of weeks of training. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching me suffer for 7 days in 7 different FTP tests. Let me know in that comment section below, and please do me a massive favor and hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you in the next video.